your area at this point in time. Beaver Creek, be alert. 7:26 p.m. is the potential that it could be moving in your direction. Again, seek shelter indoors away from any windows and doors. Will give you, if you're just now joining us to KOIN 6 News, it's 5:37. A tornado warning is currently in effect for parts of Clackamas and Marion County. Seek shelter in your basement, a staircase, hallway, basement, or a closet. Interior sections of your house are going to be the best spot. If you live in an apartment, the best location is going to be for you to head to the lowest level of that apartment complex. Again, away from any windows and doors. Underneath a staircase is going to be your best bet. This all coming off the heels of a very stormy Monday evening for us. A marginal risk, a 1 out of 5 chance of seeing things like large damaging hail, gusty winds, but also tornadoes like what we are seeing right now. A 1 out of 5 chance of seeing this is a potential. Again, we are going to be staying on the air as this tornado warning continues to develop. The good news with this is that polygon is starting to shrink. That is the good news. We would like to see it completely expire, which it has the possibility to do just that. But as it continues to elongate, is still tracking its way to the north and east at about 40 miles per hour. Again, the Silverton area, you still need to be staying in your safe place at this point in time, just because we don't have the best radar, because the mountains kind of pick up on a lot of this and make it difficult to actually see. That's another point. Now is not the time to maybe head outside to try and see if you can visually see a funnel, see a tornado. Now is not the time to do that. Now is the time to seek shelter indoors, away from those windows and any other aspect. I do want to kind of just pull up here, and it's not cooperating for us, just to try and look at our different factors here as we move our way through. And I'm just going to kind of comb through. Again, all of this is actively developing across our area, and you can kind of see inside of the storm where we could potentially see the brunt of the rain right now. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of our hail tracker, although there likely is about 3/4 size hail associated with all of this. That is a very real potential as this whole system tracks its way to the north and east. I'm going to go ahead and just clear everything. Let's give you the timestamp again. If you are in the Silverton area, you need to still remain in your safe shelter at this point in time. The good news again with this is the lightning has subsided. That's a good indication that this is likely starting to weaken. That's what we like to see. There has been no confirmation at this point in time of there being a tornado spotted on the ground, but it's still a potential. And again, it's just tracking its way to the north and east. What we look for is a bit of a kink in the radar that we're not necessarily seeing as strong right now. The National Weather Service still holding on to that tornado warning. This is for the far northeast sections of Clackamas, or Marion County, I should say, and parts of the Clackamas area. Let me go ahead and clear this. We'll put it into motion and let you see everything as it continues to work its way through our area. This, of course, coming off the heels of that severe thunderstorm warnings that we've been seeing crop up over the past several hours or so now. Again, impacting much of the Portland, Vancouver area. This is where we have that tornado warning, again, tracking its way to the north and east. The good news is, just now we were able to see it kind of clear its way out of Marion County. So again, it's still just to the north and east of the Silverton area. I think that you are probably in the clear at this point in time to get out of your safe shelter. But again, as we continue to look just south of the Portland, Vancouver metro area, the storm cell is still strong enough to produce that tornado. They have the potential to kind of hop, skip, and jump, especially over the higher terrain. That, again, is where that tornado warning is likely going to remain in effect all the way through the top of the hour. The good news is it is shrinking in size. Again, we'll go ahead and just kind of zoom in, look at our communities here. That's where this is just to the east of Woodburn. So if you are in Woodburn, don't necessarily need to be taking shelter right now, but just to give you a bit of perspective, this is now including the Scotts Mills area. If you are in Silverton, you are now clear to exit your safe shelter. It has cleared your area. likely seeing a lot of hail on the ground as well as the storm continues to track its way to the north and east at about 40 miles per hour. Markham, if you are in that area, you need to be in your safe shelter as well. Yoder, you're probably in the clear right now, but stay weather aware. Again, this is all parts of the southwest corner of Clackamas County at this point in time, just south of the Portland-Vancouver metro area. Again, it's just east of Woodburn, slightly south of Wilsonville. Not necessarily a concern for you at this point in time. But again, that tornado warning in effect, and we'll just see if the National Weather Service has any new information as this is continuing to develop at this point in time. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. So it's not necessarily the winds of the tornado that you have to be concerned about, or the wind just around it, but it's all of the debris. So we're talking about the tree limbs that could potentially be sent as projectiles through the storm system. Again, as nothing is confirmed at this point in time for the tornado warning, but all indications are leading to a tornado warning right now for parts of the Clackamas County area set to expire at 6 p.m. This is coming off the heels of what has been an extremely active day in the Pacific Northwest, and just now that tornado warning now extended even further to the east. Let's get you a little bit more of that information. Not necessarily the hopes we had. We were hoping with that shrinking of the polygon that we would see some improvements, but that now extended a little bit further as well. And let's see if the producers need to get in my ear, if they're getting any reports of anything as well, feel free to do that. But this is now the tornado warning set to expire at 6:15. So we have another 30 minutes of this tornado warning tracking its way to the north and east. Let's see here. I'm just going to read off what some of the National Weather Service is saying for us. Capable of producing a tornado. This whole thunderstorm, the cell was, and it was located in this exact spot, 17 miles south of Oregon City, moving northeast now at 50 miles per hour. So it has picked up a little bit of speed. I'm going to go ahead, just kind of zoom out, give us a little bit better of a perspective. Again, this is not including the Portland-Vancouver area, but it is tracking its way through parts of Clackamas County at this point in time. We're just going to kind of send this out over the next 50 miles per hour or so. So Beaver Creek at 7:09, that's when it should expect to move into your area, of course. Not necessarily a concern at this point in time, as we will likely see a significant amount of weakening with this storm as well. Let me clear everything again for us so we have a little bit better of an idea. Again, there is no confirmation that a tornado is on the ground, but you need to be seeking shelter indoors. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. That's information coming in from the National Weather Service. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur if this tornado moves through your area. Tree damage is likely. Again, keep in mind, a lot of our soil has been weakened. So if a tornado were to move through our area, it would likely and easily take down very large trees, potentially crushing homes and vehicles. So that is why you need to be seeking shelter indoors. In a bathtub, that is also going to be a great spot. I know it might sound kind of on the sillier side to maybe grab that bike helmet if you are now in this tornado warning, putting that on, putting blankets over your head while sitting in the bathtub. If it is away from any of those windows, exterior walls as well, you want to make sure you are in the interior section of your home as this tornado warning continues to track its way to the north and the east. This is set to expire at about 6:15 this evening, as an active tornado warning still remains in place. We are going to be staying on air as this potentially dangerous situation continues to unfold. Keep in mind, this is an area where we start to get some hills, likely going to be blindsided by a lot of the activity. The trees also blocking the view of this potential tornado that is moving through our area. I'm going to read just a little bit more information now from the National Weather Service. Take cover now, move to a basement or interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outside in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter. Maybe that means running into your local supermarket, stopping where you're at. If you have friends or family members who you might think be driving around in this area, because it is the heart of rush hour. A lot of folks trying to head home. If you are not necessarily, if you're trying to head home in these locations in far western Clackamas County, maybe wait just a little bit before actually heading home. Wait for the storm system to move through. In addition to the tornado warning that is currently in effect, what also could make it very difficult to actually see the actual funnel, the tornado, the spouts touching the ground, it's going to be the widespread rain, the hail. That is going to make it extremely difficult on top of the terrain, on top of the tree coverage that is still across our area. We'll go ahead and pull up this latest information. Again, extended this tornado warning from the National Weather Service until 6:15. 3/4 size inch hail is a possibility. It is now 5:47 on the dot where this tornado warning is currently in effect. No new information with this, but we do want to make sure we are staying on the air to give anybody the latest information again on the tornado warning. This coming off the heels of a very active day with the severe thunderstorm warnings that we have seen cropping up. A marginal risk of severe weather right now is in effect. So that's about a 1 out of 5 chance to see exactly what we are dealing with right now. We drew the short straw today, picking up on not only the severe thunderstorms, but also that current tornado warning that is in effect for parts of Clackamas County. Again, all of Marion County is clear of this tornado warning as it continues to track its way over the high terrain. The hope for all of this is that we could potentially see it coming to an end as we work our way over the higher terrain. We're starting to lose some of that daytime heating. That is the good news. We would like to continue that trend as we move our way through the rest of this evening. So just to, again, put it all into perspective, if you live along South Highway 211, that is where this storm system is currently tracking, where the potential tornado is. That's where you need to be seeking shelter immediately. Also, 213, Highway 213, you need to make sure that you are in your safe space at this point in time. National Weather Service, of course, now expiring what once was under a tornado warning. So just this southern, southwestern flank, you are now in the clear. If anything, we are likely seeing the tornado just to the south of the junction of, again, 213 and 211. So this is kind of right around where the Safeway is, out towards the McDonald's. If you are familiar with this location of Clackamas County, again, tracking its way to the north and east at about 50 miles per hour. I'm just going to go ahead and clear this, get any new information that we might have pulled up as this tornado warning remains in place. Hopefully set to expire within about the next 20 minutes or so. If the National Weather Service doesn't see any more indications, they quite easily could expire this even earlier. But for now, 6:15, you need to be staying in your safe shelter if you are in any of these locations. Again, it's going to be along Highway 211 and 213 out towards western Clackamas County. We want to make sure that we are keeping a very close eye on this. The good news is, if I just go ahead and freeze frame it right now, I'm not really seeing any strong indication of a rotation. What we would typically see is, get my pointer here, something happening right here. It's always kind of in the southern flank of these storm systems as they race their way across the area. So if you live north of where this severe or the tornado warning currently is, likely not able to actually see anything because you're trying to look through all of this rain. So we want to make sure we are just taking our shelter immediately, not trying to take those pictures or photographs of the active weather. It is not worth that scenario. Again, the good news is the lightning has really started to subside with this cell. So that means we are losing a lot of energy. You can even see with that blue indication that this is snow. So we're starting to get up into the higher elevated locations. That's where we have the potential to really start to melt a lot of this down. So again, has now kind of cleared the 213 highway area, still moving along Highway 211. It's really just kind of taking that fast track. So Fernwood, Colton, again, all of this is in western Clackamas County. You need to be taking shelter now as it is heading your direction. Again, just to kind of zoom out, give us a better perspective, we are still picking up on a lot of lightning. This has kind of been Lincoln City, the hot spot out towards Yachats, anywhere up towards Newport, picking up on a lot of the lightning, and it continues to track its way to the north and east at a rapid pace. We saw those severe thunderstorm warnings in parts of Marion, Clackamas County, all expired now, as this tornado warning still remains in place for Clackamas County until the 6:15 time frame. Again, all of this active weather happening right along Highway 211. So Colton, Cedardale, you need to be taking shelter right now. Ellswood seeking shelter as well, right along the 211 highway location. As this is radar indicated, we have no indication that there is actually anything on the ground at this point in time. We're going to be keeping a very close eye on this. As we move over the high terrain, though, you got to keep in mind that it's going to start to shrink the available atmosphere that would sustain the development of a tornado. So as it tracks its way to the north and east with every new scan, it really is showing that it's starting to elongate along 211. There you go, just refreshing. So again, the Clark County area that was under the tornado warning, now in the clear. So we are keeping, again, a close eye as it tracks its way to the north and east. As Decatur, you are not under the tornado warning right now, but you need to stay weather aware. You need to make sure that you are heading indoors into an interior section. I know I sound like a broken record. This is something that we are not accustomed to, and we need to make sure that we are keeping an extremely close eye, again, on this extremely rare tornado warning, especially with how long it has been in effect. This is very unusual. Usually we see these funnel clouds pop up after the fact. That has not been the case tonight. National Weather Service seeing strong enough indication that they needed to warn this, again, in parts of Clackamas County. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up again, if you're just now joining us for KOIN 6 News, as we approach the 6 o'clock hour. Current time is 5:54, as an active tornado warning is still in place. Just trying to pull up some more information here for all of us. As this continues to be a developing situation. So, a tornado warning, if you are under it right now in Clackamas County, you need to make sure that you are heading into a strong structure. So if you are in a mobile home, that is not going to be the best place to be at this point in time. A basement is your best bet. Underneath a staircase, a hallway, a closet, a bathroom, somewhere that is away from windows and doors. Cover yourself with a blanket or even a mattress if you are in these locations, because it's not necessarily the wind that's the danger, but it's the objects flying within the winds that could potentially be deadly projectiles. We're talking about tree limbs, bricks, parts of a roof. That's where the biggest concern is. Of course, this is not, or likely not, something that we are seeing similar to what would be the case in the Midwest, but it is still a potential, again, as that tornado warning does include parts of Clark's area. So this is likely where it has just cleared the Molalla area. Shadydale, you are now in the clear. Cedardale, you are now in the clear. This has taken a little bit more of a northerly track as opposed to an easterly track, so that is the good news. Same with Colton. So you need to make sure that you are not heading outdoors to see if this is something you can try and visualize. It does look like it is substantially weakening just because of the lack of the rain that we are seeing, the intensification of the rain, I should say. We're really kind of breaking that down in the way that this is definitely losing some steam as it moves up in elevation. I anticipate that the National Weather Service will probably put an end to this fairly soon. Again, there were no confirmed reports of a tornado on the ground, but this is still a potentially dangerous situation until the National Weather Service has set to expire this tornado warning. Again, this is a bit of a rarity for us here in the Pacific Northwest. If you have friends or family members in the Midwest, you know that this is a pretty frequent scenario as well. So I'm going to go ahead and probably start to transition things back over to Ken at the desk. I'll come join you here in just a moment, just as I really anticipate this to start to slow, and we will get on with our 6 o'clock newscast, where again we will have continued updates. Right now, I do encourage you to go ahead and download the PDX weather app, the KOIN 6 news app. That's where we have the potential for keeping the latest update on this whole situation, as again, a tornado warning is in effect for parts of Clackamas County. This is south and east of the Portland-Vancouver area, so not necessarily a concern for us as we move through, and it appears that the National Weather Service has just now canceled that tornado warning. So everyone is in the clear. Everyone is free to remove yourself from your safe shelter. Again, that tornado warning now canceled. And this has been a very active week, or start to our work week here, Ken, for the Pacific Northwest. So again, that tornado warning, it has now expired.
All right, great job following all of this, Josh.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
We'll continue to follow it throughout the evening. We've had widespread power outages, trees down, roads closed. This is just the beginning. KOIN 6, as you just heard, issuing a weather alert tonight as days of rains make an impact on the Portland metro area. Let's talk about power outages right now. Here's where those outages stand right now. PGE reporting 36,000 customers without power. And that's an increase within the hour. Pacific Power has about 16,000 customers without power right now. Clark County PUD, 2,300 outages at this time. Those numbers will fluctuate as the evenings go on. This is KOIN 6 News at 6. I'm Ken Body, and we have team coverage tonight. Ariel Salk and Ariel Yakabazi are standing by live. But we want to send it back over to meteorologist Josh Cozart. And Josh, you have been tracking this severe weather all afternoon now, and it hasn't let up. We're still dealing with it, but in different parts of the state now as well. So just update us, Josh.
Yeah, so definitely just to recap, if you're just now joining us, as we're about 30 seconds or so from the top of the hour at 6 o'clock, that's where we are seeing some clearing in our area. Again, that tornado warning that was in western sections of Clackamas County now expired. Everybody can clear and get out of their safe shelter, but still holding on to widespread heavy precipitation, heavy mountain snowfall, and we're not out of the woods just yet. As we work our way through the next several hours, that's where we anticipate the wind gusts to become quite strong. 51 degrees, that's where we currently sit, mostly cloudy skies. As we take a live look out over downtown Portland at this point in time, this is going to be really kind of the pre-show to the wind event that we expect to see moving through the rest of the night. So that's where our gusts could near almost 45, if not even closer to 50 miles per hour as we approach the midnight hour. Again, these are the winds that come out of the south. They are going to be howling through the Willamette Valley. That's where we do expect to see some of those winds improve by the mid-morning hours tomorrow. Taking a look at what is in store for the rest of this evening, expecting to see the widespread persistent rain along with the wind. These yellows and oranges a good indication of where the strongest punch of weather will be. The good news is once we approach sunset hour, which we're now already past that by about 5 minutes or so, that means we are losing a lot of that daytime heating. Temperatures will begin to cool, what is typical for an evening time frame, and that will reduce significantly our threat of the severe weather with those severe thunderstorm warnings we experienced earlier in the day and the tornado warnings hopefully starting to fall off the map, as our futurecast does show a few light rain showers by the time we get to the start of the day Tuesday, clearing things out. And hey, it's going to be a stark difference 24 hours from now as we see the return of some sunshine. Temperatures in the mid-50s. Those winds, they will start to taper back as well, carrying us over into a cooler start for Wednesday, and then eventually seeing those clouds push their way back into our area, filling up our rain gauges close to about a ½ inch for the I-5 corridor. 1/4, 3/4 of an inch is a possibility out along the coastline. Now, as far as that KOIN 6 weather alert goes, that's where we expect to see it come to an end early tomorrow morning. And then we are expected to dry things out, return the sunshine, highs in the low 60s. But again, all warnings right now have expired, and the threat of severe weather, we are keeping a close eye on it, but is currently not active, Ken.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Josh. And again, thank you for keeping us up to date on this. We continue our team coverage tonight with Ariel Yagabazi. She's live in rural Washington County. And what have you been seeing so far?
Yeah, Heather, Ken, we actually have some good news here. We experienced one of the power outages here. Actually, power's back on here at the Jacobson Street and Cornelius Pass Road intersection. This is unincorporated Washington County, rather. And again, things have cleared up quite a bit. Just a few moments ago, just before we came live on the air, power came back on, but residents in the neighborhood across the street told us that power was off since about 4 p.m., but thankfully, again, that is back on. Traffic was backed up in this area, but it has cleared up. But there, again, are several outages in the area. PGE is reporting over 36,000 people are impacted by the severe weather in their service area. And Pacific Power is reporting about 5,000 customers are impacted, and Clark Public Utilities say more than 2,300 people are impacted by power outages. Again, this is just a good example of the hard work that officials are putting into getting the power back on, and a lot of residents we've been speaking to are prepped and ready for any other power outages in the area. Now, just to give you some sense, it is still wet, the ground's still wet, but dry, not too much rain. That could start up again soon. And we did hear reports of winds reaching up to 54 miles an hour in the Hillsborough area. So we'll see if those continue into the evening hours. But right now, that atmospheric river seems to have paused, at least in this area. But we'll continue to track outages and rain in the area for the rest of the night, and we'll have more updates tonight at 10 and 11. Ken, back to you.
All right, thanks, Ariel. And our team coverage continues with Ariel Salk. She's in Southwest Portland, so give us an update from where you are.
So I actually relocated to Northwest Portland. We were hearing that hundreds of people are out of power, according to PGE. And we've been all over the region looking for this destruction, anywhere from mudslides to down power lines. The Columbia River Gorge hit with flooding, rock slides, and powerful winds today, bringing record rain to downtown Portland.
We're going to get increasing water as this water flows downstream and increases, whether it be a small creek that's running throughout your neighborhood into even the larger rivers.
In Clackamas today, the Willamette River water rising at Carver Park's boat launch. Employees with the Parks Department tell me this is due to how close it is to the floodplain. In Portland, the fire department wants to remind people to stay safe.
So we ask you stay back, away, and safely away from any moving water as we're going to get these increasing flows as a result of the rain that we're seeing.
In Northwest Portland, 2 landslides overnight. Closes Cornell Road and 1 lane on Northwest Thompson Road. PBOT working to clear the mud, but this might not be the end.
But there is a risk that the slides that we saw and were working on, the last 24 hours, we have worked to try to mitigate the risk that additional slides occur at those locations. But Northwest Portland and parts of Southwest Portland are very prone to landslides.
We also saw down power lines due to a fallen tree on Northwest Germantown, causing at least 30+ houses to be without power.
If there's a power line or any other line, assume it's live and just dial 911 and have the first responders come out and assess the damage.
PGE told me their meteorologists are keeping a close eye on the weather, keeping their crews up to date to help them with the prep. Now, PBOT tells me that those 2 roads that were shut down due to the mudslides, that's Cornell and Thompson, are back open. Reporting live in Northwest Portland, Ariel Salk, KOIN 6 News.
Thank you, Ariel. And we've been getting video from across the area. This video we just got into the newsroom minutes ago showing a tree down. It stretched across the road in the area of Northwest 22nd and Flanders in Northwest Portland. That tree pulled down some power lines. We don't know the impact that it's having on power outages in that particular neighborhood right now, but we'll stay on top of it and we'll let you know what we find out. A slide closed Highway 224 in the Mount Hood National Forest. This is in the area of Three Links, southeast of Estacada. According to the Mount Hood National Forest, the slide happened last night. Local access is allowed into the area as of now. And we want to remind you that you can track the forecast in your neighborhood with the PDX weather app. Get hour-by-hour forecasts, you can watch the radar, and find weather alerts for your specific neighborhood. So download the PDX weather app today.